I'm Furball, and today we're gonna try and restore this PlayStation 4 controller here. I got this broken off of eBay. It says that it works, but it won't come clean, which it's got like all these marks all over it. We can clean that up, but it actually, the joysticks are obviously screwed up. The thing's super dirty. You can see dirt up in there. The touchpad's pretty scratched, so I'm gonna try and switch that out. And the charge port works, but it's a little wonky, so I'm gonna check that out. I might have to order one of those, but yeah, so let's tear this thing down. It only has 4 Phillips head screws in the back, about your standard size controller screw, so we'll pop those out. They don't even bother with security screws on these because they make these a little difficult to get apart. And they figure if you're going to go to that much trouble, then whatever. Okay, so once you have that out, you have to take and squeeze right here and here to actually pop it loose from the rest. You give it a little squeeze and it pops it loose, but not from everywhere. So we're going to take our little spudger tool thing here and see if we can get up in there and help pry it apart a little bit. You want to kind of run it along the seam. Help you. There's all these little plastic tabs in there that make it. There we go. Alright. You also want to get it at the bottom here around the joysticks. Oops. There we go. Should be mostly free now. A little bit more right there. Another clip. They don't make it easy, that's for sure. Sometimes they come apart a little easier, but yeah, we're still caught at the bottom here. There we go. And okay. Alright, so you don't want to pull it completely apart, but you can get it that far. You want to have those back in there. You want to push this kind of forward so it comes over the triggers. There you go. And be careful, there's a ribbon cable in there, so you want to take and pull it off to the side a little bit, and you've got this connector and you can just grab it snugly and pull it right out of there, pop it to the side, and just by looking I can't tell what this one is, I'd have to pull it out to see about replacing the charge port, but we'll put that to the side for now. Okay, and then we're on the inside. You want to take and disconnect your battery. You don't want this turning on your PlayStation or whatever. You just grab the connector and lift it out, and you can lift the battery out of there and set it to the side. Alright, now we're on the inside. So you want to take this little battery holder, and it pops out. It's got a couple of little tabs in there, and it just pop out like so. Sometimes those are a little more tricky, but that one popped out real nice. Just set that to the side. You have one more screw right here holding the board in. We're going to loosen that up. And keep this one separate. This is a different size screw than the rest. It's a different color too, so yeah. Alright, and so now we can lift the whole thing out. You can grab the motors and gently lift up. Oh wait, I forgot one important thing. We have the cable for the touchpad, and it's got a little, does it have a little tab? This one doesn't have, okay. So we're going to take our tweezers. We ought to be able to just lift this little plastic tab and pull it out. Well, if I could grab a hold of it. There you go, and it just slides right out. Okay. That'll be a problem getting back in, I'm sure. Okay, and then you can lift this thing right out. Okay. Wow. That's built quite a bit different than the last touchpad that I looked at. Let's see, you can push this inward and twist it around and it slides right out. So we have that. Now I have this one sitting here out of an older controller, or a different controller. I was gonna try and switch them. I'm not sure if these are gonna be the same or compatible or whatever, but maybe, I don't know. We'll take a look at that later. Anyway, we're gonna set that to the side. And we're going to flip this over here. We want to be careful with our buttons. There's springs in there you don't want to pop out or whatever. And these joysticks, you can just pull these straight off. Whoops, and fling them wherever. Yeah, pull those off. And I have a couple of replacements I picked up off of Amazon. And you can just slide those right back on there. Well, they're keyed a certain way. Those things aren't circles, so you gotta make sure you get it on the right way. And what? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, make sure you look at how they're keyed because they only go on a certain way. There we go. Boom. Now we got two fresh joysticks. Good stuff. Okay, so let's be careful with this still. Sit it down. Now, I want to kind of clean this controller up. It's really nasty around the edges and stuff. And I'm just going to take, I've got some 91% alcohol in here. And just going to kind of scrub the sides a little bit. Might be better with a washcloth. Let me see. kind of clean up all the funk out the edges there for sure. Actually, this might take a while. I might do that off camera, but I want to clean all up there where the touchpad was, and I'm going to pull the buttons out and clean up all in there so they work nice and everything. But we'll just move on for now. I'm going to take that all apart and scrub it all nice. I might even take it to the sink. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and take it to the sink and clean it all up. I pulled all the buttons out and cleaned everything, and you know, all around the edges and stuff, like, so it's all nice again. And so now we're just gonna put it back together. We're gonna take the touchpad here, and it goes in through this side, and you just twist it around and let it sit in place there. Okay, and then you take your board here. Also cleaned out like the triggers, you know. I just took a toothbrush and some alcohol and cleaned those out. Want those to work nice. Okay, and so when you're putting this in, you got to make sure your ribbon cable here goes through this little hole. Some controllers may be different. They make a bunch of models of these, so swapping parts is difficult. Oops. Just like so. And see if you can seat it all in place. There we go. Looks good there. Looks good there. I'm going to go ahead and put this screw back in. There we go. Just to hold it all down. Alright. Now we want to plug this cable back in. It's got a little tab on there to help it be all firm. Just line it up nice. Here, let me set this screwdriver down. So yeah, we'll just try to seat that in like so. Then it's all in. Alright. Then we'll take this and we'll just put the battery connector back in there. Just clips back into place. We'll take the battery. Now it's got a little clip for your cables right there. You can get them both under there like so. Set the battery into place and we'll just plug the cable in. It only goes in one way, so click. Alright. Now, you've got mostly the front put together, so let's set that to the side for now. And we're going to take the back here. Now, I've already pulled out the charge port and everything to clean it. And we're going to replace the charge port. I've got my new one in, so we're going to take the old one here and we're just going to pull the ribbon cable out. Okay, and we'll set that to the side. And now I have my new one, which is, you know, just something. I bought it off of Amazon, real cheap, and we're going to put the cable right in like so, and then it's got a little tab on this one so we can lock it down, and then the cable's nice and snug. Alright, so we can take and put this controller board here, the charge board, right back into the spot, and we're going to screw that down. This little black screw. Like so. And then we're going to take this clear little plastic doodad, and you want to make sure it's got a little edge on there. You want to make sure you get it the right direction. Kind of stick that into place. It just kind of sits there. Okay. Then you want to take your diffuser here, and it slides up into a little groove right there, and then sticks down on a post. You stick that into place, and you stick down your stickum. And then you have this thing which got a little notch right there, and you slide it in there, and then oops, you can slide it right down into place, and so that's all back together. And we take our front part. We're gonna try to get this cable here. This is a tough one, you know. You want it to plug into that port. So you got to balance these two little jobs. Oops. Try to be very careful with that ribbon cable. Those things break. If I could get a hold of my cable. So yeah, once you've gotten it into the port there, all nice and snug, take your time on that. You don't want to mess up the cable. Okay, so now you want to slide over the triggers and get those kind of locked into space there. And then you've got these two posts, and you want to kind of bend the handles around it so it kind of goes back on there like so. Make sure your triggers are all nice in place. You don't want to mess those up. And then you should be able to snap everything back together. You give it a little twist and such here and there, and you can snap all the tabs back. Whoops. This side, there we go. That one wants to be difficult, but once we put the screws back in, it'll be just fine. Alright, so let's flip it over, and we'll take our 4 Phillips heads. Put those right back in. Now I want to leave those a little bit loose. Let me undo that one. That way we have room to twist the controller and stuff to make sure it's all seated right when we're finished. Just most of the way in there. Alright, and so let's make sure. Okay, so this side looks really nice. Let's go ahead and tighten down this side. Alright, and then we'll go over to this side. Try to kind of hold it into place there, and then screw this screw down. And then while still holding it, we're going to screw this one down. Hopefully it stays in place. Give an extra tighten to this one. Alright, and voila, it looks pretty good. Now all we gotta do is we'll take and we'll hit up these little marks on it here with a magic eraser, some alcohol, and we've got ourselves a nice new controller. If you like this sort of video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit notifications, and we'll see you next time.